Then I go back here, fan has to go off. Absolutely. And I need your shirt. It sounds fun. Just for fun, man. I dig Mike Campbell on guitar. I'm coming over in the bass there. Hi, I'm Tommy. Hello, I'm Tommy. Hello to you. Sticks.
Volume.com is a free platform with live stream performances, concert broadcasts, and a video archive that includes performances by Brothers Osborne, Stone Temple Pilots, Dierks Bentley, Weezer, and more. I'm Chris Shiflett, and we have a fantastic show for you today. Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers is here to break down the weighting of Hard Promises. You know it, you love it. Who doesn't like Mike Campbell's guitar playing? Are you out of your mind? One of the most influential guitar players ever in the history of guitar playing. But first, let's talk a little bit about where you can get ad-free versions of Shred with Shifty. You know you can get them over on volume.com/Shifty, and not just ad-free versions of the show, but exclusive content from all the episodes that we only post at volume.com. So get over there and check it out. And as always, make sure you follow me on social media. Make sure you film yourself learning this solo and every solo we've broken down all season long, and post it on your socials and tag us. All that jazz. Follow me and all the different accounts, blah, 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 blah. Hey, are you in the UK or Ireland? If you are, don't you want to come to the solo tour at the end of March? Like we do and tickets are on sale now. So get on over to ChrisShiflettmusic.com. Pick yourself up a pair, or a couple of pairs, buy some for your grandma. You know what I mean? Let's get a solo. Come on, ChrisShiflettmusic.com. And I will see you in the UK and Ireland for some sausages. Let's jump into today's episode. Mike Campbell, guitar player extraordinaire, one of the all-time most influential players. I can't tell you how often people say, do something like a Mike Campbell kind of thing. And I'm like in the studio working on a record. I'm sure that happens to just about everybody. Just influenced generation after generation. And today we are breaking down his wonderful solo from The Waiting off the Hard Promises record. It's a classic and you're going to love it. Here we go. This is Mike Campbell on Shred with Shifty. What do you remember about the day you recorded this guitar solo?
Well, I don't think we spent a lot of time on it. I remember cutting the track at Sound City, which you're familiar with, and I remember playing bass on the track. And what's curious about that guitar part, that bit, actually I played it on the bass during the track at the end, I go do-do-do-do-do, and I liked the line, so when I went to do the guitar overdub, I put that on the guitar with the octave. So that kind of came around backwards, that lick. So I just remember not much, just doing it pretty quick. We didn't spend a lot of time on that one.
Like, did you guys record the whole thing live in the room? Like, in same day? Did you record the basic tracks the same? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I think I played the bass. Ron wasn't there that day. I played the bass live with Tom and Stan and Ben. We got the basic track, and then I put some guitars on it. or a guitar.
Do you remember what guitar amp pedal combination you were using that day?
Well, there would have been no pedals at that time. The
Check
amp,
1 2. Check.
All right.
I remember being at Sound City during that album. We had every amp in the world lined up across the room. I mean, every amp you can imagine, all in a line. And they could play this one, move the mic, play that one, play that one, play that. So I don't remember what we ended up on. It was probably a Twin or some kind of Fenders, what we settled on. And it was, as I remember, it was a Les Paul, a white one, that I had just gotten at a pawn shop. And
A lot.
it was, that's, it's really fuzzy. It was so long ago, but I don't have a specific memory of doing it, but I know that was not one we labored over. It went pretty quick.
I always associated the video, like the guitar in the video, as being the one that you actually played on the song, which was that cool Rickenbacker that you were playing in the video for it. And so, like, it's an interesting thing, like, to think about, like that.
Guitar player.
It totally like informed my sense of what a guitar, like when I think of that Rickenbacker, I think of that song, and I think that's the way that Rickenbacker's supposed to sound. You know what I mean? It's weird.
It's all showbiz, Chris.
It's all showbiz, babe.
Well, the truth is, the octave guitar thing, which I also did on American Girl, was because I didn't have a 12-string handy. I wanted that kind of overtone. But we used that little Rickenbacker, which I got for $120 back in the day, which Tom is on the cover of Torpedoes, actually.
Musicians.
I used it in the video just because it looked cool. I hate that video. I think I look like a total idiot in that video, but the song is good.
It's hard to watch yourself sometimes.
It's such a great time capsule. I was watching it this morning before I headed over here. It's like, it looks like Santa Monica Place did at that time.
Yeah.
That's a mall reference. I don't know if you know the reference.
Well, I don't know about you, but I didn't start out wanting to be a video guy. And then we had to, when MTV came along, I was like, okay, you got to do a video. So we go down and do our best, but it's not something that, a couple of them were fun. The Waiting was just kind of, us miming to the song. It was nothing special, really. I didn't like my boots.
It's funny. I think of this, I have the same relationship to your guitar solo in You Got Lucky. Where in the video, that post-apocalyptic video, you're playing that Gretsch.
Yeah,
so
that was just for looks.
And maybe it really was a Gretsch. I don't know, but like in my mind, that's what a Gretsch is supposed to sound
like.
It
was a Japanese Strat that showed up that afternoon that I'd never played before.
But
in the video, the Gretsch looks cooler.
Generally speaking, how do you build a solo in the studio? And how did you build this one? Did you kind of have it worked out before you guys went in, or did you just do it on the fly?
I did not have it worked out. That one, I don't usually have them worked out. But once we got into it, I kind of got a starting point,
to Hollywood
and then I had an ending. And in the middle, I just played the melody that he was singing. And so when I got stuck in the middle of what to play, I just thought, well, what are the notes he's singing there? And I picked them out on the guitar.
That'll be fine.
And that's basically how it works. I started out, with a typical screen and a few licks, and then the melody in the middle is for what he's singing. Don't let it get you, babe. I kind of copied the melody there. And then the ending was just a drone. Just something to lift up into the chorus, And that was once I got in there, I found an intro and sorted out the middle and had an ending. And then I had a bit of a composition. Then we went for the take, So some of it may have been off the cuff, but I think I probably did a few off the cuff versions and then sorted out what I wanted it to be and then did the proper take on that one.
I mean, you're so well known as the guy that plays the perfect part to the song, like the perfect solo in context of what the song is doing, with the perfect guitar and the perfect amp and the perfect tone. That's kind of amazing to hear that these are musical moments that you're just kind of working up in the moment.
Well, as you know, as a guitar player, if you work it out too much, it'll sound stiff. And most of the stuff on my records, I like to come in fresh and capture, as I'm discovering what it is, get that on tape. That there's some electricity in that moment. I think the listener can hear, that you're discovering it as they're discovering it at the same time. So I like to, kind of grab them on the fly and kind of go stream of consciousness and hope that I land something. And then once I get, sometimes that first take is fine. Other times I'll go, well, that's a good idea, but I can refine it a little bit and play it again. As you know, you do this too. But I like to keep as much of the discovery of the bit while I'm figuring it out. Ooh, that's exciting, and if you can keep that on the tape, if you go back and play it again, you know what you're doing. It's going to be the right notes, but it may not have that electricity of spontaneity. So that's what I always try to do.
All right, let's back up a little bit. How old were you when you started playing guitar?
I was 16. I wanted a guitar really bad. I couldn't afford one. My mom got a $15 acoustic harmony F-hole. It was unplayable, but I didn't know. I thought, well, wow, these guys, the strings are way up here. How do they do it? My fingers would bleed learning how to play on that thing.
Yeah, well,
so around 16, and then my dad sent me a Japanese guitar from Okinawa. He was stationed over there, and it was kind of like a little Agoya. It played a little better. And then when I got to Gainesville, I ended up getting the Firebird, and then eventually a Stratocaster. So as I got more money, I would get a nicer guitar. I'm still doing that.
Do you still have that Firebird? Like, what year would that have been that you got that Firebird, and how vintage is it now?
Well, it's gone, unfortunately. It was a 3-pickup red Firebird 12, I guess they call them, I don't know. And I got it at a pawn shop. It was so funny, we went up to Birmingham, and I didn't have a good guitar. I had that Japanese guitar. Went into a pawn shop. He said, do you have any guitars? He said, well, there's one in the back, but you wouldn't like it. And we said, why? She said, it's really ugly. I'll bring it out anyway. So I opened it up. It was that red Firebird. She didn't know what it was. It was about $100. And I used that right up until we were in the studio in L.A. And then I left it on a folding chair, and Tom came in, didn't see it, and sat on it and broke the neck off.
No way.
Yeah, and I sent it to get repaired. It was never the same. So it's probably firewood at this point. But it's funny because I'm now playing this white Firebird, which I also got at a pawn shop, and I actually like Firebirds. But that was my first guitar. Then I eventually got a Strat, and a long story with each guitar, but I won't go deeply into it. But that's how I got started.
Did you take a lot of lessons?
None.
None.
My lessons would be going over to a friend's house and go, hey, do you know this Bob Dylan song? Okay, teach me that. That would be my guitar lesson. I never had proper guitar lessons. I learned mostly off records, just listen and figure it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, when did you remember the moment you learned your first lead guitar lick? Like the first moment you felt like, I'm a lead guitar player now.
Well, let me back up a little bit. I never had guitar lessons. When I was in elementary school, my parents forced me to take accordion lessons. And I did learn, I only did that for a few months, but I learned, chords and a little bit of basic theory of music from that. But when I picked up the guitar, it was all ear taught. The first solo I ever learned was one of those Chuck Berry things. I just love Chuck Berry. And somebody asked me this, how did you figure it out? And I don't know. I just listened to it and went, where is it? Oh, he's doing that and putting... And I don't know, picked it up by ear. But that was my first inspiration in lead guitar was Chuck Berry, absolutely.
Besides Chuck Berry, who were the other guitar players you were listening to at that time that made you want to be a lead guitar player?
Well, you're talking about the 60s, the heyday of Renaissance guitar music. Of course, I love the Beach Boys, but I really love George Harrison, Keith Richards, the Kinks, the Hollies, the Zombies, the Animals, all those guitar players. Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page a little later on. And of course the ultimate was Jimi Hendrix later on. But those were my influences, and those are those people that I tried to learn off their records and emulate what they were doing, And Mike Bloomfield, he was a huge influence. I had that Paul Butterfield Blues Band first album with Mike Bloomfield on it, and I would slow the records down back in the day, from 33 to 16. And then that's how I figured out, how's he getting that note? He's always, he's bending it. Okay, so I learned that way, trial and error. But he was a big influence. I love his playing.
What's the first thing you play when you pick up a guitar? What's like your guitar store lick?
That is a good question. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to my wife, and I used to always just pick up the guitar and... start playing lead. Nowadays,
I don't play songs.
I don't practice anymore. I pick up the guitar and I start writing a song.
Exactly.
You know, it's usually a chord now, and once again, I draw from a stream of consciousness, blind, what comes through me, and it's usually a sequence of chords or a groove, and then I'm into writing. So I don't think about the lead guitar at the beginning like I used to.
And what do you like your guitar to feel like? What are you looking for in a guitar? Like string gauge, action, the neck. Like, what's your preference?
I don't have a whole lot of preference about it, as long as it's comfortable and it has a good sound. I put the same gauge strings, which are 10s, I think, on all my guitars, so that the strings gauge is always the same.
10s.
And I just like it to feel comfortable and sound good, you know. Every
GHS
guitar,
10.
even the cheaper ones, have one spot on the guitar that's really, really good sounding. I try to find that one spot where that guitar speaks. You know, a Fender or a Gibson, they're going to sound good on anywhere up the neck. But some of the more boutique guitars will have like one section that's really sweet and the rest of it's crappy sounding.
From the best
so I like the comfort, and I like it to be easy to play. I don't want to have to struggle too hard.
Lucas, they're there.
And
they were just hanging
good
in
sound,
town. I watched them
basically. If the
everywhere.
sound is good, I can usually tune into it.
How early did you start writing songs? Like, at what point did you sort of make that shift from like you're just noodling around on chords to like, wait a minute, I got to remember that. That's a song.
Well, right away, early on, I was doodling
Those were my
and writing
lessons in
and
nightclubs,
horrible
1129
things.
clubs.
And then
Santa Barbara, State
as the
Street,
years went on, I
Baudelaire,
started
best players in town.
trying to train that muscle
One
in
of
my
my
brain
producers
to
for my
try
little
harder
first
to write better
band
stuff,
disc,
you know, and work on it
Chaz,
more instead of
bass
just
player for Christopher Cross.
half-ass.
He was in my
you know,
wedding.
songs.
The only black guy,
And
super
so pretty
Nigerian
much
black.
as soon as I had learned a
With
few
all my
chords on the
brothers,
guitar,
7
you
of
know,
us and one guy.
I might
At the
listen to
Sheraton
a
Grand in
Beatles
LA. I
song or
married
a
an
Bob Dylan
actress.
song and start learning it, and then maybe get it backwards or wrong. And I go, oh, maybe I'll make my own song out of that. You know, I've always kind of done that from the beginning. It's just gotten more and more refined.
I mean, what was that workflow like during the years of being in the Heartbreakers? Were you writing like the musical side of it, and then handing it off to Tom to kind of bang it into something?
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't write lyrics until much later on, which I do now, and I really enjoy that. But early on, it was just music. You know, I had a talent for, or gift, or a knack, was a better word, I guess, for stringing rhythms and chords together that sounded like a song, you know, and structuring it in such a way that a writer could listen to it and go and sing along with it, and it would all make sense, you know. So I would make music tracks or demos, and I was lucky enough to have Tom in my band. I said, hey, you know, do you like this? And he would come back the next day, and here's one, call You Wreck Me off your music or whatever, you know. So I was just jazzed. I got so excited when he'd bring a song back to me. And so then I wanted to just keep doing it more and more and get better at it, you know. It's a thrill, you know. Writing, as you know, it's when it works out, it's like it triggers dopamine in your brain or something, I don't know, but you get so high from it when it works out and it sounds good to you. It came out of nowhere, all of a sudden
There's nothing better than going into the studio with an idea and then you come out 12 hours later and it's this completely different thing and it's so much better than it sounded in your bedroom. You know, that's the best.
Yeah, that's my addiction, is writing. You know, it's a religious kind of thing, really. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's mysterious and it has its own energy. It comes to you when it wants to, and you just have to be open to take it. You know, it's not always there when you want it, but I love that process, and I know a lot of writers say the same thing. It's magic, and it really is. And if you're lucky enough to come up with something that turns into a hit record or whatever, and lots of people like it, then that's just a blessing.
Absolutely. Let's get into the solo. Let's break this thing down. I've always heard this solo in particular, but a lot of your leads as having these great overtones that kind of ring. You know, you're sort of jangling, letting certain notes blend over other notes, and there's a lot of that in this one. So I'm excited to see how you actually played it versus how I've worked it out in my head. So real quick, the song is in the key of D, and we're in standard tuning. And it starts over the verse pattern chord. It starts over the A chord, moving around the A, G, and the D. So can you show me how you play that initial lick?
Okay, if I can remember it, let me see.
Puppies, Mike Love Foundation, Beach Boys, End of Summer, man.
Kristen Love, those guys, Andy J.
Once again, Chuck Berry. Right
Local,
away. So I start with this.
local. For a long time, I'm Haskell's local, bro. Haskell's local. Galtez brothers. Ross Nooney and Brian Gladsby protected me.
And
as
then
the
the
guitar
melody
player
line
in
that Tom
Gemini
sings
all
over
over
that B
town.
minor
Got
chord.
free Taco Bell, free McDonald's, everything. I was a little star, baby. You probably carried my amp. You're around in the early 80s, 81, 2, 3, 4, little rock stars, man.
So the ending is like they used to call it the bagpipes part with the open drone underneath it. You know, it's just a extending.
Right.
And into the chorus.
It's funny because referencing the video for the song again, this is another one of those moments where in the video it looks like you're playing it in a different spot to my eyes. You know what I mean? So and working it out, it never made sense to me. So I'm glad to see that that's what it is.
Well, it was it was a lip sync. So yeah, I'm just la da 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 da. Wherever my hands are, it doesn't matter. They can't hear me anyway. That's probably what it was. So you were stuck.
Right.
I did that just to fuck people up.
Exactly. Well, it fucked me up. You got me. Hey, let's go back to the very beginning of that. So I was hearing it different, and I realize now in watching you do it that I was totally overcomplicating it. So I was going. So you're actually going on that last part. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. At the
And then it goes up into the melody. Yeah.
I love when you go up into those single notes. It's like it's a perfect display of your vibrato.
Vibrato is really important. Thank you. Yeah, I really work always on my vibrato, and I think most guitar players don't focus so much on it. But it really is what makes your playing unique. If you really find your vibrato in the right feel and the right speed of the vibrato, depending on the tempo of the song,
Tone and
where
vibrato
to use vibrato and where not.
Like
Like
your
on that,
style,
it's
who you are, your vibrato, and your tone, and the way you pick and use it, and time and phasing. Talk to people, commiserate about your respective personal lives with your guitar.
right there is that on that note.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. Blues, baby. Blues bass.
You made me turn down. I got no tone. But anyway, yeah. So you notice I
No,
use.
turn back up. Turn back up where you want to be.
That's all right. You know what I meant to do. But the vibrato, you notice I choose to only use it on those couple of notes.
Right. I don't always,
Yeah. Well, it's when you slip it in there, that's the part that makes it cry. You know what I mean? It adds like this emotional heft to it.
Exactly.
It's the emotion and it's where it sounds most like a voice. Like you're singing it as opposed to just like. And I could just go.
I'm 64 years old. I've been playing electric guitar since 1979.
Those are the notes, but if you put the vibrato in it.
74.
So when the vibrato comes in, it makes a statement. And if you put it in the right place, it can be very emotional, you know?
I love your use of like the, not just bending up, but the way you bend down out of phrases too. So great.
It's just I'd like to think of it as a voice, you know. Have the singer sing it, you know. If you think of it like a voice singing, it'll usually tell you where you should put vibrato and not, you know. So yeah, vibrato is really important. Even from my first record, like Breakdown, you know. You know, the vibrato is really important. I'm struggling this morning, but you get the idea.
Totally. Yeah, it sounds great on my end. All right, now this next bit, I have, in the interest of full disclosure here, I have bit this so many times in guitar solos, and I was tripping because the way I heard it again doesn't line up with how it appears that you're playing it in some of the videos that I watch. So I always heard it like.
You have like a record or something? I'm sorry, I just don't
Like
pay
you're up
attention.
around there, but I think you're actually
into
playing it
aviation.
somewhere around here.
I never stopped playing guitar. I have a studio. This is state of the art.
Where are you at?
I'm on an arc full of Neve, AKG, Mackie, Roland, Pro Tools, C12 capsule. Yeah, all of it, man. I got everything. I've been doing
the
this
first and the
all
fifth.
along.
Okay.
And I hit both strings when I can.
This is Studio Regrello, Rad Rock Sound, Radcliffe, Rad Rock Sound, Mr. Is International Music Inc., BMI.
So that's what I'm doing.
Love it.
I like those kind of voices.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, love that.
That's it.
For this last, great. And then for the last one, you kind of already demonstrated, but run it for me again. Is that just you're just moving up the scale with the high E, moving up the scale on the B string? Yeah.
It starts with a hammer. That's it. Perfect.
Yeah.
You're hired.
I want to get hired as your apprentice. I'll just stand in the back in the shadows and I'll listen every show and strum an acoustic.
Yeah, that's a technique I use a lot of stuff. The band used to make fun of me. Always doing the bagpipes again, But it's that drone, like even on like a listen to or heart. I like the melody up high on the B string with the open E string ringing underneath. It makes it sound fuller. And that was kind of a part of our sound, It became a part of our tone that we use a lot. Probably overused it, but I like that.
Do you remember on this song, like what's given it? If you said you were playing a Les Paul through a Fender combo or something, what's giving it the bite? Are you just driving that on the amp?
Just driving the amp. We didn't have pedals back then. We weren't using any pedals. We just turned the amp up, try to find a sweet spot. They would spend hours on it sometimes. It used to drive me nuts.
I play with my hands.
Eventually find the right combination of room mic and crunch. It's all about the gain. You get the treble
Just
kind of normal.
listen for what you want.
You can get more treble by
and
getting
if you
gain.
get
If
it,
you go too far, it
mark
mushes
that,
out. So it's
note
finding that
that.
sweet
How to
spot
do
in
it.
there, in the gain. And that's where
years
the tone
and years,
is.
man. A lot of accidents have turned into great
at the end of the
shit,
solo, it
Red
comes
Ponies.
back to a chorus, and then there's that little break where you throw
That's what
one
I
more
think.
lick in there.
Little
And
bit.
the way I heard it
Think a
was
little
like
bit.
something like this. Is that in the ballpark?
Everything I have paid for from songwriting and gigging. This whole house,
Yeah, that's it.
all of it.
Okay.
There's another cool bit
There's
in
a
the
way.
song
Publishing
that you
and so
didn't
forth.
mention. Like, it's a really good example of how Tom and
I'm a
I would
nobody.
play off each other. Like, he came in with a song.
I can play as good as anybody in the world, anytime, anyone in the world, for sure. I'd quit if I couldn't.
Okay, so when it got to
Big
the chorus,
deal.
instead
Big
of me
deal.
doubling him, I would play.
I've been playing so long, sometimes it feels like having to go brush my teeth. It's hard to get inspired to pick it up.
I would put an arpeggio above his guitar to make it sound like one big guitar. And then also in the second half of the chorus, I would go just
Cool.
a drone, like.
That's cool. Simple. Love Patty's simple stuff.
And then,
I mean, as far as notation, just excellent, perfect.
yeah. But that drone is another trick we used
But
to use a
I mean,
lot.
you have to be a master to play the touch and the vibrato
make
of the
a chorus
notes on
sound
a
big just by doing
very
those two
powerful
notes.
guitar. You know what I mean?
That it
Controlling
raises the question.
an
You
electric
never
guitar
know,
takes
unless you're in the room
time.
for these things. But is that like, are we really hearing a lot of Tom's guitar on
be
those
able to
records? I always
hold
wondered that, like
a
what kind of
Marshall
player
cranked
he
on
was.
10.
Well, he's the
You should
rhythm.
be able to hold
the
it
rhythm
quiet.
guitar is
Indefinitely
is
with
filling
the
out the
hum.
track. Yeah, my stuff is over
And
the top.
control
Sometimes my
the
stuff is
guitar.
loud because it's a
Make
bit.
notes where you want
But
notes and
he's
not where
keeping
you
a
don't
solid,
want them.
steady,
and
full rhythm underneath everything.
That's between you and
That was the secret
guitar.
of
in
our
between
groove,
notes, your
was
intervals.
Tom's rhythm, the way he sang
Stretching,
against his
running,
own
filling.
hand.
Oh, interesting.
Licks.
Was he tracking those
Shit, I
vocals
can do
live too?
64th notes.
We
doing
always sing
licks,
a live
trills.
vocal. A lot of times we go back and make
Anyway,
it better.
should be able
But
to-
always will have a
I
live
can
vocal
run
to
like
play along to, yeah.
16th notes.
Okay,
clean, pretty
so
good.
now that we've run through this whole,
Picking every note.
all the bits and bobs, could you be so kind as to play the solo from start to finish for the listener at home to get the full
Go
effect?
ahead, Mike.
Now the
Campbell,
pressure's
go
on.
ahead.
But yeah, I'll be happy to try to do that. But
him on
with
the
my little
spot.
dinky sound.
Put him on
But
the spot.
Shifty.
You can turn up.
there's
turn up.
another part at the end that's pretty cool that we didn't talk about.
Oh, okay.
At the end, we goes in,
I remember.
and then Tom goes, and then I did this thing up here. Let's listen to that into. That's a cool little part. So the solo.
Yeah. So where is that exactly on the frets? Where are you fretting?
Nice.
You kind of just mute it.
I'm not a singer. I remember that. No, that. I remember that part.
Yeah, I like those kind of things.
I haven't heard it in a long time.
So the solo, it comes down off the bridge, off the F sharp.
That was it. I kicked into it. I remember it now. I remember, yeah. All I gotta do is hear it. Well, I'm gonna do a video with waiting. I'll do a video. I played it hundreds of times in the 80s in my band Gemini and Rambunctious.
See, I made a point of keeping all those.
I'm going to say so long. It was nice to listen to Mike and say hi. I'm Tommy Rad. Go to.
Am I right in thinking maybe in the later
acoustic
years?
And electric
I mean,
guitars.
like I said, you're known as the guy that plays exactly the perfect part for the song, that plays to the song. To my ear, maybe like when you get into like Mojo era, your guitar solos become a little more freewheeling. And maybe less party and more solo.
You're right. It was more into. I had the '59 Les Paul, so we were kind of stretching out in a little more bluesy blues phrases as opposed to pop type bits. Like the waiting is very pop.
All right. I'm Tommy Rad at Studio Arguello.
Red Rock Snap.
Come and see me at. It's Let me see. I'm terrible with the internet. So,
I give free lessons to vets and children online with their parents if they like that. I give free lessons to vets at madguitarhouse@gmail.com. Mad Guitar House, one word. It's Mad Guitar House 34. Can't forget that. madguitarhouse34@gmail.com. Gmail. G-Beaver. Hey, Wally, there's mail at the G-thing.com. That's right, Beaver. madguitarhouse34 at gmail.com. Free lessons. I'm working it out. I have someone helping me with the FaceTime and the connection and the whole deal where you can do one-on-one lessons. Free for vets. I know Ben Price and from his channel and so forth, and I sent him a guitar that he loves, and another one's coming for a vet hopefully here. I'm waiting to find out for sure if I can do it, and because I love doing that. My dad was a Korean War fighter pilot and a test pilot in the Marines in El Toro and Kaneohe for I think 6 or 8 years. I didn't get the date right when I said something, commented the other night. Anyway, come and see me and watch my videos. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. It's hard work for an old man at 64. I got a few things wrong with me too. So keep the fight. Christian warriors. We are Christian warriors, aren't we? Keep the fight. I love my dogs. I'm not giving up my dog for anybody.